Let's make a 9 hearts spell box filled with intentions for every type of love that you deserve in your life. Hello, my darlings, and welcome. In this video, I'll be sharing the folk magic traditions of love magic in popular culture, and modern love magic, all while creating a 9 hearts spell box, and I hope you'll create your own alongside me. Let's do some magical crafting. Today, I'm creating something really special for my magical practice. This is a 9 hearts spell box, and it's going to be filled with 9 handmade Valentines or love notes. Each one represents a different aspect of love that I'm manifesting in my life. You can write and decorate each Valentine to call in what you need for yourself, whether that's self-love, romantic partnership, deep friendships, or the courage to set loving boundaries. I've created a Book of Shadows page for this spell box. If you'd like to download a printable version of this grimoire page, I'll leave a link in the description below. The materials for this project are wonderfully simple. You'll need a box of any kind. I'm using a small tea tin, but you could use a jewelry box, a wooden craft box, or even a sturdy cardboard box that you decorate yourself. I'm painting my tea tin pink and coral with gold accents, and then adding hearts with Mod Podge and glitter. You'll also need paper for your 9 Valentines. I love using watercolor paper or scrapbook paper, but notebook paper works beautifully too. Gather whatever decorating supplies speak to you. You can use colored pencils, markers, stickers, pressed flowers, glitter, washi tape, whatever you like. This is your spell box, so make it reflect your own heart and style. The magic in this practice comes from physically creating these manifestations of love. When you write out your intentions by hand and decorate them with care, you're doing more than just making a wish. You're spending time and energy on what you desire. You're giving it form and beauty. You're telling yourself and the universe that these forms of love are worth your attention and creativity. Each Valentine becomes a tiny spell in itself, charged with your hope and intention. The magical significance of creating 9 Valentines rather than some other number carries beautiful meaning. 9 is a powerful number in magical traditions for several reasons. It represents completion and fulfillment because it's 3 times 3, making it a number of amplification. When you work with 9, you're working with energy that builds on itself and reaches towards wholeness. In numerology, 9 carries the vibration of universal love, compassion, and spiritual completion. It's not the grasping, needy energy of wanting love from outside yourself. 9 represents love that's already complete within you. Love that overflows naturally because you're full rather than empty. This makes it perfect for self-love work and for calling in relationships that enhance your life rather than complete it. 9 also appears throughout spiritual and mythological traditions in ways that connect to love and creation. The Greeks honored 9 muses who inspired creativity and passion. Norse cosmology speaks of 9 worlds. A human pregnancy lasts 9 months, bringing new life into being through time and nurturing care. All of these associations make 9 a number about bringing something precious into existence through patience, attention, and love. When you create 9 Valentines for your spell box, you're working with a number that says your love is already whole, already sacred, and already enough. You're not seeking completion from outside. You're celebrating and expanding the love that lives within you. Understanding where love magic practices come from helps you use them with wisdom and respect. Love magic appears in folk practices across many cultures and throughout history. In traditional contexts, love spells were often about practical concerns, like finding a marriage partner, ensuring fertility, or maintaining harmony in partnerships. These weren't always about romance in the way modern people think of it. They were often about survival, family alliances, and building stable households. You can find love charms and spells in European folk magic traditions, in hoodoo and conjure practices, in Mexican folk Catholicism, and in traditions from around the world. People have always sought magical help with matters of the heart because love touches the deepest parts of being human. In modern practice, you can reframe these traditions in ways that honor their roots while serving your actual needs. Instead of trying to make a specific person love you, you might work magic to make yourself more open to receiving love. Instead of binding someone to you, you might work on healing the wounds that make intimacy difficult. Instead of manipulating another person's feelings, you might focus on becoming the most authentic, magnetic version of yourself. Popular culture is full of stories about love magic, and interestingly, these modern narratives serve the same purpose that fairy tales did in the past. They're cautionary tales that explore what happens when we try to control love through magic. In the 1996 film, The Craft, Sarah uses magic to make Chris fall in love with her. Sarah's decision is fueled by revenge and social rejection. After a single date, where she refused to have sex with him, Chris spread a false and derogatory rumor that they had slept together. The spell works, and Chris becomes obsessively infatuated with Sarah, pursuing her relentlessly. His infatuation turns into a physical threat when he attempts to assault Sarah, and later this obsession is used to lure Chris to his eventual death. The movie portrays magically manufactured desire as compulsion instead of true love. In the television series Charmed, Phoebe casts a spell to attract her perfect match and ends up accidentally affecting every man in San Francisco, creating chaos as men become irrationally obsessed with her. She can't go anywhere without being mobbed by would-be suitors who have no genuine connection to her at all. When the spell is finally broken, Phoebe is left exhausted, frightened, and no closer to real love than she was before. And this episode teaches that magic focused on making yourself irresistible to everyone actually attracts no one who truly sees you. Buffy the Vampire Slayer explored love magic repeatedly, and the consequences were consistently devastating. In the episode The Wish, Cordelia wishes that Buffy had never come to Sunnydale because she's jealous about a boy. The wish is granted by a vengeance demon, and the alternate reality that unfolds is dark and horrifying, with most of the main characters dead or turned into vampires. In the episode Something Blue, Willow performs a spell while emotionally distraught, and her words accidentally become reality, causing Buffy and Spike to fall desperately in love and plan a wedding. What seems funny at first becomes genuinely dangerous as the spell affects reality in increasingly chaotic ways. In Tabula Rasa, Willow casts a spell to make Tara forget that they've been fighting, but the spell spirals wildly out of control and makes everyone in Sunnydale forget who they are entirely. These stories remind us that magic affecting emotions and memories is inherently unpredictable. You may think you know what you want the outcome to be, but magic that tampers with feelings tends to create unintended consequences that are often worse than the original problem. These pop culture stories reflect wisdom that's actually quite old. Fairy tales have always warned us about trying to force love or manipulate fate. The stories rarely end well. When you try to make a specific person love you through magic, you're attempting to override their autonomy. Real love involves choice. It involves someone seeing you clearly and choosing you anyway, and you doing the same for them. Magically compelled affection might look like love from the outside, but it's missing the essential ingredients that make love meaningful. The person you've spelled hasn't chosen you. This doesn't mean that love magic is inherently wrong or that you should never work magic around love. It means the focus of that magic matters enormously. You can work magic to become more confident, more open-hearted, more able to recognize healthy love when it appears. You can work magic to heal old wounds that make intimacy difficult. You can work magic to draw opportunities for connection towards you. You can work magic to make yourself more magnetic and visible. These approaches work on yourself and your own energy rather than trying to control another person. They respect everyone's autonomy while still actively working towards what you desire. Self-love and worthiness work from the foundation of all healthy love magic. If you're doing love spells because you feel incomplete without a partner or because you need someone else to validate your worth, then the magic is starting from a place of lack. Magic works best when it comes from fullness rather than emptiness. When you genuinely love and value yourself, you naturally become more magnetic. You make better choices about who you allow into your life. You recognize red flags instead of ignoring them because you're desperate for affection. You bring your whole, authentic self to relationships rather than twisting yourself into shapes you think others want. This is why the 9 Hearts spell box includes Valentines for self-love alongside Valentines for partnership and friendship. You're not just asking the universe to send you love, you're cultivating love within yourself and then calling in connections that match your worth. I also want to mention some red flags to avoid in love magic practices. Be cautious of any spell or working that encourages obsession, whether with another person or with the outcome of your magic. Be wary of traditions that frame love magic as a kind of warfare or conquest, and avoid practices that involve taking something from another person without their knowledge or consent, like hair or personal items, to use in spells targeting them. These approaches come from a scarcity mindset that says love must be captured and controlled, and they rarely lead anywhere good. Traditional folk magic approaches to love work can be incorporated into your own practice, ethically and effectively. Understanding these techniques give you options for working with love energy beyond just the 9 Hearts spell box. Herbs have been associated with love magic across cultures for centuries. Rose is perhaps the most universal, connected to Venus and romantic love in traditions around the world. You might add dried rose petals to charm bags, use rose water in ritual baths, or burn rose incense while doing love magic. Cinnamon appears in many folk traditions as an herb of attraction and passion. It heats things up and draws desired energies toward you. Vanilla brings sweetness and comfort to love workings. Basil shows up in Italian folk magic for love and fidelity. You can research the magical properties of herbs and choose ones that resonate with your specific intentions. When you work with herbs for love magic, you might create charm bags to carry with you, add them to ritual baths, incorporate them into candle spells, or simply place them on your altar while you focus your attentions. The herbs themselves don't create the magic. They're tools that help you focus your energy and connect to traditions of practice that came before you. Folk magic often uses the principles of sympathetic magic, where like attracts like, and symbolic actions create real-world effects. Honey jars are a traditional example you might encounter. The idea is that just as honey is sweet, it can sweeten someone towards you. In ethical practice, you might use a honey jar to sweeten your own energy and attractiveness rather than targeting a specific person. You could write your desires for love on a piece of paper, place it in a jar of honey, and work with the jar regularly to reinforce your intention. Knot magic appears in many folk traditions. You might braid cords together while speaking your intentions, tying knots at specific points to bind the magic. Each knot holds a wish or desire related to love. Mirror work has roots in various traditions, using mirrors to either reflect love back to yourself or make yourself visible to potential partners in a metaphysical sense. If you're drawn to astrological timing, you might choose to do love magic on Venus days, which are Fridays. Some practitioners pay attention to moon phases, working with the waxing moon to draw love towards them, or the full moon for culmination of love intentions. You don't need to follow any of these timing correspondences for your magic to work, but some people find that aligning their practice with traditional timing adds extra resonance. The important thing with all of these techniques is to adapt them to your own needs and ethics. Take what resonates from folk traditions and make it your own, always keeping respect for free will at the center of your practice, if those are your ethics. Self-love as love magic is truly the most powerful love work that I feel I can do. Every Valentine I create for myself is an act of magic. Every moment I spend decorating these intentions with beauty and care is a spell. I'm literally conjuring love by giving it to myself first. Self-love magic can take many forms in your practice. You might create ritual baths designed specifically for self-love, using herbs like rose, lavender, and chamomile, along with oils that make you feel beautiful and cherished. As you soak, you're not just cleaning your body, you're washing away the voices that told you you weren't enough and replacing them with affirmations of your inherent worth. Mirror work is particularly powerful for self-love. This might feel uncomfortable at first, and that discomfort is exactly why it's important. Standing in front of a mirror and looking into your own eyes while speaking kindly to yourself can be profound. Telling yourself the things you wish someone else would say to you is transformative magic. Glamour magic, which is about recognizing, enhancing your own beauty and power, becomes an act of self-love when you do it for yourself rather than for others' approval. Boundary setting is a sacred practice and a crucial form of self-love magic. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, every time you protect your time, energy, or emotional space, you're casting a spell that says you matter. Boundaries aren't walls that keep love out, they're the container that allows real love to grow safely. All of this self-love work can make you magnetic in the truest sense. You become someone who knows their worth, and that knowledge changes everything about how you move through the world and how others perceive you. Creating your 9 Valentines is where your intentions take physical form. I'm going to share the 9 aspects of love that I'm addressing in my spell box, and you can use these as a starting point for your own Valentines, but feel free to adjust them to reflect your specific needs and desires. The first Valentine is for love and acceptance. This is the foundation of everything else. You might write about loving yourself exactly as you are right now, not as someone who needs to change or improve first. The second Valentine addresses romantic love or partnership. If you're seeking a partner, you could write about the qualities you want in that relationship. If you're already partnered, you might write about deepening that connection. Focusing on how you want to feel rather than trying to describe a specific person keeps the magic open. The third Valentine is for friendship and community. Meaningful friendships are a form of love that our culture often undervalues, but they're essential to a full life. You might write about the kinds of friendships you want to nurture or call in. The fourth Valentine honors family bonds. This might be about your biological family or your chosen family, or the family you hope to create. You could write about healing family relationships or about creating the kind of family love that you deserve. The fifth Valentine celebrates creative passion. This is about the things that make you feel the most alive, the work or hobbies or interests that light you up from the inside. Passion for your life is a form of love magic. The sixth Valentine is for worthiness and confidence. You might write about knowing deep in your bones that you deserve good things. The sixth Valentine is for worthiness and confidence. You might write about knowing deep in your bones that you deserve good things, walking through the world with confidence and valuing your abilities, knowing that you are powerful and capable. The seventh Valentine addresses boundaries and protection in relationships. This might feel like an odd inclusion in love magic, but healthy boundaries are how love stays healthy. You could write about having the strength to protect yourself while staying open to connection. The eighth Valentine is for attraction and magnetism. This is about being seen, being recognized, drawing opportunities and people towards you naturally. You might write about being irresistibly yourself. The ninth Valentine focuses on healing past relationship wounds. Most of us carry hurt from previous relationships, whether romantic or otherwise. This Valentine acknowledges that healing and creates space for it. As you create each Valentine, taking your time can deepen the magic. Writing your intentions clearly and specifically, then decorating each one with care. You're not trying to make perfect art. You're making magic, and magic thrives on genuine intention more than technical skill. When you've finished all 9 Valentines, hold them in your hands before placing them in your box to connect with what you've created. You might speak a simple blessing over them or just sit quietly feeling the energy of your work. Then place them in your box one at a time, perhaps speaking each intention aloud as you do so, completing the spell. Once your 9 Hearts spell box is complete, you might wonder how to work with it going forward. You can create this spell box anytime the impulse strikes you. Many practitioners find it particularly powerful to make it around the new year when setting intentions, or around Valentine's Day to reclaim that holiday as a time for self-love, or during the spring when everything is growing and beginning anew. Keeping your spell box somewhere special honors the work you've done. You might place it on your altar if you have one, or on your bedside table, or tucked away in a drawer where it feels private and safe. Some people like to keep their spell boxes visible as a daily reminder of their intentions, and others prefer to tuck them away and trust the magic to work unseen. There's no wrong answer. Choose what feels right for you. You can open your spell box and reread your Valentines whenever you need a reminder of what you're calling in. You might do this during your regular spiritual practice, or during moments when you're doubting yourself, or simply when you want to reconnect with your intentions. Each time you read your Valentines, you're reactivating the magic and reinforcing your desire. I will reread and recharge my 9 Hearts spell box every full moon to keep the love magic working all year long. On the 13th full moon, I will release the spell by burning all 9 Valentines in a fire-safe cauldron. You might want to refresh your spell box seasonally, creating new Valentines that reflect how your needs and desires have evolved. Or you can keep the same Valentines for a full year before reassessing. You might want to create a new spell box when major life changes occur, or when you realize your intentions have manifested and it's time to focus on new aspects of love. Paying attention to how your relationship with love shifts after you create your spell box can reveal the magic at work. You might notice yourself feeling more confident, more open, or more willing to set boundaries, or more able to recognize healthy connection when it appears. These subtle shifts are the magic working. Trusting the process and staying open to how love might show up in unexpected ways allows the spell to unfold naturally. May you know love in all its forms. May you recognize your own self-worth without needing outside validation. May you attract connections that honor your wholeness and celebrate your authentic self. May you give and receive love freely, with your heart protected but open. And may you always remember that you are worthy of every kind of love you desire, simply because you exist.